to a very exciting and interesting Malaysian experience, and I'm really, really happy to present this beautiful woman sitting next to me, Dr. Dato, who is the Ministry of Tourism of Malaysia. And I was very impressed by the fact that she's a doctor by profession, but she's been in the public service since 1981. Yes, okay, it's here. In any case, it's very long and tremendous experience, and we all know how Malaysia made a great way into tourism success, and we've been glad to hear from you the experience of the country, challenges, and especially how public-private partnership influence into the building of the industry. Please.
Thank you very much, my moderator, Madam Chairman. I'm very attractive about that. Your Excellency, the First Vice Minister, Mr. Rao, and Mr. Sonogi, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to one and all. I believe that most of you all here are involved in the tourism economy. I believe so, either from the public sector or from the private sector. I'd like to share a few things with you. Number one, as Madame Moderator said, I've been in government public service since 1999, although I have been in politics for the last 1981. Yeah, 1981. And I'm most delighted to be here first, to be invited. Thank you very much to the organizer. But even more important is how delighted I am that tourism economy has now been recognized as a very important global economy. Do you agree with me? See, in the past, when I was a Deputy Minister of Tourism, Malaysia in 1999, nobody looks at tourism industry. They think it's a fun ministry. It's a jolly economy. You don't get invited to World Forum. You don't get invited to Davos. Nothing. But things have changed. And I want to congratulate United Nations World WTO. They work very hard to change this mindset about the power of the tourism economy. Now we get invited to so many world economic forums. G20 never looked at tourism industry. But in the year 2009, for the first time, organized the G20 Tourism Ministers meeting in South Africa. And 2010, they invited me to Korea to speak. And now it's a yearly big economic forum. ASEAN, we have our own ASEAN Minister of Tourism discussion group to develop the ASEAN tourism community. So it's changing. And now in Astana, consecutively, second year, we have give a special attention to tourism. I'd like to congratulate Kazakhstan for your vision. You'll be a great tourism nation. I see the wave of tourism economy moving from the west to the ASEAN, then to China, very soon to the Central Asian countries. So much so that Malaysia will be opening our Tourism Malaysia office in Kazakhstan very soon. That's how we see the power of this industry. And then, gentlemen, early this year, when I was with the Minister of Tourism Indonesia, she was the previous Minister of International Trade and Industry. After we finished the meeting, she told me, I never knew how important tourism economy is until I was sent by the President to take over the Minister of Tourism job. That shows clearly the understanding now of tourism economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, first let's talk about sustainability. I feel very deeply in myself that you and me and us, we are going to save the world. We are going to bring a better global future, because tourism is about sustaining the world. Tourism is about preserving, protecting Mother Nature. culture heritage. Tourism is about trust. Tourism is about integrity. Tourism is about transparency. You cannot bluff tourists. If you tell tourists, I have a very strong green ecotourism policy, and when they come to your country, they see destruction of nature everywhere. Social media, they're going to tweet to the whole world. This country is not helping Mother Nature. So accountability, transparency is very important for the future of tourism development. In Malaysia, we have a very strong ecotourism policy that says no more than 50% of Malaysia's land will ever be destroyed. We have to keep 50% of Malaysia's jungle for our future generation. Because tourism is about building relationship. It's about keeping the country's heritage for generations and generations to be. So we are now very involved in green tourism. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my intense feeling that the one thing that's going to really work for the world to sustain Mother Nature and protect Mother Nature, heritage and culture, you and us, tourism. Because now tourism is a lifestyle. Zoltan just said, 1 billion people travel this year. By 2020, 1.8 billion is a lifestyle. It's no more a lifestyle of the rich. No more. Everybody wants to travel. The sky, the sea, the roads are open. So it is a lifestyle and it will be here to stay. Tourism economy is a sunrise industry. So I would like to take you through my Malaysian journey. With your permission, a short journey of our tourism industry. We are a small country, 28 million people. Total jobs is 12.2 million people working in Malaysia. We have no unemployment. We have over 10% to 15% of the work is provided by foreign labor. Our income per capita is USD 9,575, and our total land area is about 330,000 square kilometers. And the brand which you give to the world, but tourism contributes to 11.7% of our GDP, 11.7%, and contributing to 28.5 billion US dollars. It is now the largest service export industry. In 2011, we received 24.7 million international tourists. Many people do not believe me. I called UNWTO because I have to refer to you. He checks my numbers. I cannot bluff you. But domestic tourists, we have in 2011, 163 million trips. That means one Malaysian will make about 5 to 6 domestic tourism holidays. Because domestic tourism is very important for the country. And our international tourism receipts is 18.6 billion. We are now ranked the 9th most traveled to country in the world, and our revenue is 14. You look at the revenue, we are not so high. That means we must do more to make tourists spend more money, and we are doing our shopping tourism package. What is the history? If you look at our history, we really moved into tourism in 2001, about 10 years ago. At that time, we only received about 10 million tourists. And our history really shows that tourism is a very fragile industry, very susceptible to world instability, to regional conflicts, to Mother Nature's disasters. 2001, we had 9/11 bombing. Our number went up and dropped. Then we had SARS, we had Iraq war. The number went down. We worked hard, we moved up surely and steadily, then it started dropping during the global economic crisis. So this chart shows to everyone it is not a bed of roses all the time. The whole national, regional, global situation will affect a country's tourism direction. Nevertheless, we have now set ourselves for 2020 roadmap, 2020 target, and that's by 2020, we would like to receive from 16.9 billion US dollars to 53.5 billion. That's three times. Tourist arrivals, 24.7 million to 36 million. That means 1.5 times. That means we must make tourists spend more money, stay longer. And that's the one main strategy. And our present arrivals, every single tourist spend about 751 US dollars. By 2020, we wish them to spend 1,483 US dollars. And we hope to be our global ranking. Not too much. I know we are a small country. We are quite happy with top 10. It's okay. The Dr. Kazakhstan is going to take us anytime. So, but in the tourism economy, as Mr. Dalton has said, the private sector is the main mover. I always say the government sets the stage. We give you the props, but the players will be the private sector. Tour operators, tour guides, hoteliers, training institutions, human resource development, etc. So by the year 2020, we will invest the government $1.47 billion US to build infrastructure, and we are looking to get 63.59 billion US dollars from the private sector. Through this, we hope to create another 500,000 jobs, for 497,000 new jobs. Example, spa therapists, professional golf caddies, first-class finer shop attendants. These are all that we are putting in place. So what are the projects that we are now looking at towards 2020? We have 12 high-impact projects, which we have already identified the private sector working with us. One is affordable luxury shopping. So Malaysia now, as of this year, has become duty-free. When you came 2 years ago, Malaysia was not duty-free. So all the things we bought were 30% more. Now it is duty-free. Absolutely. And we have no value tax, nothing. So we are really one of the cheapest. And it is a government policy. It's a government fiscal policy that we have taken away import duty. And we are now encouraging more people to build luxury shopping complexes. Second, family tourism. We want to make Malaysia the family fun country. So we are developing integrated eco-nature tourism, and we are also looking to develop the cruise tourism and river tourism. Third is events, entertainment. We want to make Malaysia a big international event. We will try and get all the various international singers, Lady Gaga maybe, okay? But we have Buble, all the famous ones, they come. We have Manchester City, not this year, very soon. We have F1, we have World PGA golf, Pro Golf Tournament, Monsoon Cup, etc. And that is with the private sector. Then the third one is business tourism, mines. We would want to build more convention centers to work on mines. And last is very important, ecotourism. We have 1,000 islands in Malaysia. Hardly 10% are developed. We want to look at our islands, but sustainable island development. We are looking even at some islands that we cannot allow more, maybe 100 tourists a day, like Sipada. We have the world's top diving island, Sipada, Layang, where there is a limit to the number of tourists that can come every day. Because this is our responsibility to the marine parks, to the sea, that they cannot overload the islands and the corals. So it's a very special aspect of ecotourism, of course rainforest. So what is our public-private sector partnership need? By 2020, we will need 91,000 more hotel rooms. And we will need about 40% must be 4 or 5 star. And I will need now additional 64,000 hospitality workers to get us to arrive at 2020. So what do we do as a government, our policy? We liberalize our economy. In the past, if you want to invest in Malaysia, you must have 30% local equity, local partners. But now, because we have a very big map ahead of us, we have liberalized. So from now, Malaysia, for 4-star, 5-star hotels, resorts, restaurants, foreigners can own 100%. 100%. There's a very big step in opening up. Second, travel agents. We did not allow travel agents to operate in Malaysia. Now we allow all travel agents to have a branch office in Malaysia. So I welcome the Kazakhstan tour operators have one in Malaysia. We allow you to also bring your local staff to work in your office, because you know language is an issue. Example, tour guides. We never allowed foreign tour guides, but now we've liberalized and we will allow foreign tour guides to bring the tour group maybe from Astana to Malaysia. Because Malaysians, we have very few Russian-speaking tour guides. So this is the way forward. Conventions, exhibition centers, 100% equity. Theme parks, 100% equity. But not only equity, we also allow incentives, financial incentives. For example, for 4 and 5-star hotels, we allow also investment tax allowance and pioneer status. Means for the first 5 years, you don't pay tax at all. It's tax-free. So these are our incentives. Hotel room rates. Malaysia, we have a little problem. Our hotel rates are not controlled by the government. We believe in market forces. But everybody is not brave. They maintain the prices very low. 5-star hotel room, one hotel room, you pay about $100 US dollars to $150 US dollars. Very, very cheap. At Astana, you pay much more than that. In Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Beijing. But all our hoteliers, they dare not move the price. So we are coming in to help. It's very interesting. You don't hear tourism minister asking hotels to increase their room rates. You don't hear that. But Malaysia, I would say, bring your hotel rates to an appropriate value. Do not undervalue yourself. I have one story. One day I was in a very big shopping complex. I met a German tourist. I asked him, how are you finding a holiday here? He says, oh, this is beyond my expectations. So I said, why? So you know, when I was in Munich, I wanted to come to Malaysia. My travel agent advised me this hotel Marriott. It is only $100 US. So I asked myself, how can there be a 5-star hotel that costs $100 US dollars? So he did not believe it, no trust. Anyway, the tour agent said, you try, you come. And when he came, he was shocked because he would have to pay at least 250 US for that sort of hotel. So we want to make sure that our hospitality industry don't kill themselves by competing amongst themselves. So this is and then the other thing is we are encouraging 4 and 5 stars. Now we have 15 hotels now being built, St. Regis, Raffles, Carlton, etc. We are still looking for another 3,000 rooms of 4 and 5 stars. Ladies and gentlemen, what else are we looking at? Premium outlets, shopping premium outlets, and new theme parks, Legoland, Kizania, etc. All entitled to Malaysia's public policy of foreign investment. Coming very fast, yeah? Later. Now, I talked about public-private investment. I want now to go to sustainability. If there's anyone in industry economy that must look at sustainability, it is tourism. I'm disappointed by UK stand to put what's the word, carbon emission tax for people leaving UK traveling. That's a lot of money. Now, this is not the way to do things. You do not punish people for traveling overseas. You do not punish tourism. You have to look at our own national policy to look at sustainable development. Malaysia, our philosophy is tourism protects, preserves, conserves Mother Nature, heritage and culture. Heritage and culture. We protect our heritage for generations to come. We regenerate all our resources. We want to develop knowledge and human resources. Not all children will go to universities. So we want to develop them with spa therapists, tour guides, etc. The skill, the vocational hospitality, innovation, creativity. I want to share 3 things with you. We have launched the One Malaysia Contemporary Art Tourism. I don't need to cut one tree. I only need to bring all my Malaysian tourists 3 months Malaysian Art Tourism Festival. And they can come and showcase their art. And we have done very well. As a result of this, the first Malaysian contemporary art auction took place in 2009. The most expensive piece was sold for 20,000 US. Last year, second auction, the most expensive piece was sold for 50,000 US. This year, the most expensive piece was sold for 55,000 US dollars. That's the power of tourism industry. You don't need to cut a tree. You don't need to disturb nature. You need to be creative and innovative. Shoe festival. We got all the Malaysian shoe manufacturers come and do 3 days of festival. And they could not, when I asked them to do it, they think I'm mad. Shoe and tourism, what can they do? But it was very successful. This year, we had 1,000 over buyers from overseas to come, and we had over 60,000 visitors from all over the world just to come to buy shoes. So that is the thumbs up. Okay, last. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our policy. And I seek all of you to be with us. That tourism must be the industry to save the world. Last slide. So our brand to the world is Malaysia, truly Asia. Diversity in culture, heritage, and art. Our brand to our domestic tourism is Tuti Tuti Satu Malaysia, which is Go Travel One Malaysia. Thank you very much.